Hi, I'm Dennis Phillips, and welcome to Everyday Reloading and Shooting. Okay, so today I'm going to be testing several different loads using IMR 3031 powder, CFE223, and Accurate 2015. Here's the load information right here, and these are the targets I'll be shooting. So let's get going and we'll see how it turns out. The first 3 shots are for warm-up. Okay, so here we go with load number 1. All right, good looking group there. On to number 2, 21 grains of IMR 3031. Moving on to number 3. Three in the bullseye and 2 low. Moving on to target number 4, which is 22.5 grains of CFE 223, rated at 2446 feet per second. On to number 5, which is 22.7 grains of CFE 223, should be 2468 feet per second. Target number 5. Number 6, this is a different bullet. It's a 75 boat tail hollow point with canalure, and we're switching over to an Accurate 2015 powder. This is 19.1 grains with a rated velocity of 2388. On to number 7, which is 19.3 grains of Accurate 2015, 2413 feet per second. Moving on to group number 8. Okay, we're going with load number 9, which is 19.7 grains of accurate 2015. The last one should be 2464. So this will be my last load. 19.9 grains of accurate 2015, rated at 2489 feet per second. All right, so once again, here's the loads that were shot today, and here's a look at the final results. So the top row was shot with IMR 3031. We're going to measure them, and we'll see how they look. I'm testing basically 3 different powders here. I'm looking at IMR 3031 like this. I was out, so I got more. CFE223. I bought 5 pounds of that recently. I'm not sure how profitable that will prove to have been, but I'm sure we'll use it. And then Accurate 2015, which I believe has shown to be a good powder, except not so sure in this case with these groups today. I have the target that I shot right here, and we will be measuring the groups shortly and talking about the results. Okay, so I'm going to show you my groups from the range today. There were mixed results, but I found some loads that worked really well and also found some that worked not so well. My first powder to try out, and these are all Hornady 75 grain boat tail hollow point bullets that I'm using. The first row here, I'm using IMR 3031 powder. You can see that I had groups. I used 20.9 and 21 grains of powder for each of these 2 loads. The first target, I had 5 shots each at 0.60 and 0.59, very consistent. The second group that I had at 21 grains was 0.46 and 0.47. So it looks like the increased powder charge is improving the group. Then I used CFE223, and I had from 22.3 grains of powder to 22.7. So those were targets 3, 4, and 5. With that, at 22.3 grains, I had groups of 0.66 and 1.11. Those weren't so good. Then at 22.5 grains, I had groups of 0.94 and I had 1.53. And in this, you see there's only one, there's one missing from the 5. I had 1 failure to fire. I lifted the bolt and cycled it 3 times and it would not fire, so that was obviously a bad primer. On the CFE223, as the charge increased, these groups opened up. So at 22.7 grains, I had groups of 1.6 inches and 1.19. However, I will say here, this could be an error on my part, maybe a bad trigger pull, because I have 4 grouping at 1.08, which is closer to this, which is 1.19. And again, a flyer out here, but counting them all. We changed powders to Accurate 2015 and had horrible results at the lower charge weights. Here at 19.1 grains, we had an overall spread of 2.37 inches, and even the best 4 out of 5 only gave us 1.35 inches. Another group shot 3.1 inches, with the best 4 out of 5 still just over 2 inches, still bad. We increased to 19.3 grains, and the groups tightened up a little bit, but still not good. 1.96 inches, 1.75 inches. At 19.5 grains, they tightened up further, 0.93 inches there and 0.93 inches again. And then when we increased it to 19.7 grains, we had, oh shoot, I didn't count the flyer, but this group was 0.77 inches. This flyer makes it look like about almost 3 inches, and I'm judging by this one that was 2.77. So here we have one group at 0.75 inches, which is very close to this 0.77. So I'm pretty sure that this was shooter error here. It was probably just a bad trigger pull or a flinch or moving the rifle at the last instant. But here 0.75 and 0.77 are very close to each other. Here we had a group of 0.93 inches, and we were using 19.9 grains. And here again, you know, this is the 100th shot, so the rifle barrel could be getting dirty by now. But the maximum spread was 2.77 inches, but we did have a best 4 out of 5 at 0.84, so I'm going to take responsibility for this flyer. Also, this ammo, some of it was loaded before I was using a precision scale, but anyway, there you go. Those are my results. So I wanted to take a minute and summarize my findings. What I've discovered is that the IMR 3031 is an excellent powder. With that, I shot groups of 0.60 and 0.59 inches, and then my best at 21 grains was 0.46 and 0.47 inches. I was using 21 grains of powder. However, the maximum for IMR is 21.2. So I could still go up 2 grains and be within the limits, and I might even get a better result because it did improve as I increased it slightly here. Second of all, when we were working on the 223 powder, it grouped better at the lower charge weight. 22.3 was the starting point, and we had groups of 0.66 and 1.11 inches, 0.89 average. We also shot groups at 22.5 grains and 22.7 grains, and we had some really spread out groups there, some as much as 1.53, the worst at 1.60 inches, so not grouping well at all. But for the 22.7 grains, the CFE, the max load, is 24.9 grains. So we're actually 2.2 grains below the maximum load. So there's still room to experiment there to see if maybe increasing the charge weight might actually change the harmonics of the barrel and cause that round to shoot better. I know the IMR 3031 shot best at the top of its load range, so we can check that with the CFE223. Then on the Accurate 2015 powder, the best group with that was at 19.7 grains, and we shot groups of 0.77 and 0.75 inches, averaging 0.76. With that same powder, we also had groups at the lower weight, at the lower charges of 2.37, 3.10, 1.96, 1.75. So the powder in those lower charge weights just did not shoot well. It started to improve as we increased the powder charge. It went to 0.93 at 19.5 grains, and it averaged 76 at 19.7 grains. The thing is, with the Accurate 2015, the maximum load for a 75 grain bullet is 22.6 grains. So we were still 2.7 grains below the maximum load, and it was improving as the velocity was increasing. Crazy, I have no idea what happened there, but that was the last 10 bullets of 100 rounds, so that could have had something to do with it. So anyway, it looks like we have room to experiment a little bit, and I think I may have found a really good load here with the IMR 3031, so I'm going to load some of those for practice. All right, well, thank you for watching. Enjoy, and I'll talk to you again soon. If you have any thoughts on this video, or if you have loads that have worked well for you and you'd like to share, please be sure to post a comment below. Thank you.